Action.
Hey folks, it's me, John Krasinski. Here's a deleted scene from A Quiet Place 2.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
Carlos!
Num 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 num.
Hello!
Hi.
Hello!
Hi.
Hello!
Hi. Hi.
Welcome back to Popcorn Poppin. I am your homeless looking host reporting live all the way from not Southern California. So, welcome! Thank you. Thank you. Blessings. 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 We have missed a lot of months, and there is a lot to go through, so we need to go through it quick. From the big hits that could be streaming on the small screens, or the small misses that could be reeling on the large. You're supposed to laugh.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah, you. You're supposed to laugh.
Oh, alright.
Well, get laughing.
Why? It's not even funny.
Who asked you to be here?
You did, fuckface!
Yeah, I guess I did, but...
I mean, why else would I even be here?
You know what? Just go.
I mean, no, it's fine. I'll just
No,
act like you're
just go,
interesting.
walk away.
How am I supposed to get home?
Well, fucking hitchhike then, man.
I didn't drive here.
I'll be out in a second.
Fine. This was a waste of time.
Whatever. Don't know who invited that guy.
You did!
Wait out in the parking lot! Surprised you still stayed, but since you did, let's continue and truck along, as the truckers probably say. I mean, they're truckers, why wouldn't they say it? By doing the new rating system. It could be as bad as Burnt, this movie sucked, or as good as Buttery. This movie was like an orgasm in my mouth. Whoa, not like an orgasm in my mouth, but like, you know how you eat popcorn and it tastes really good? It's like, oh, this is an orgasm. But you're having an orgasm like eating it. It's that good. So like you're watching a movie that's so good that you come to completion. Let's keep it less sexual. It could be as bad as Burnt. I did not like this movie. It tasted awful. Or as good as Buttery. This movie was so good. I just wanted to... I went sexual again. How about just good and bad? Or watch it and don't watch it? That seems a lot easier. Yeah, let's do that. Let's start off with the big films that we have not talked about yet, such as Mortal Kombat. It was pretty good. I actually liked it a lot, had a lot of action scenes. However, a lot of people were bitching about it, saying such things as, I didn't like it, I didn't like it. A lot of people bitched about it like it was an abortion. It wasn't an abortion. Sure, it didn't have an actual Mortal Kombat in it, and sure, it was obvious that they were just trying to make a franchise and make Zemula, but It was good enough. So, moving on. Cruella. Didn't really like it. Love Emma Stone, but if you like Maleficent, then you'll probably like this. I did not like Maleficent, so I didn't really enjoy it. Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk. This movie was pretty good. It's like John Wick, but with a suburban dad. Watch it. Black Widow. We got a new Marvel movie after months of not having a Marvel movie, but having TV shows, so there's that. F9. Family 9. They should have just called it Family 9, because otherwise known as Fast and Furious 9. Just like the other movies, except, no, just like the other movies. I just find it really annoying that their villains can't remain villains, that they always come back because people really, really like them. Sure, let's have fun and just keep pushing out these movies that don't mean anything anymore, but give me a villain where they're just the villain and they're not redeemed at the end of the movie. Jungle Cruise, lots of fun. Not much else to say. Space Jam 2. No remix of the Space Jam song? Fuck you, Space Jam 2. But overall, you were fun. And it wasn't made for me. It was made for the kids with some nostalgia for me. But also, it was a Warner Brothers cumfest that was really, really annoying. If I didn't have Ready Player One, I would have liked it more. But I did have Ready Player One, so I had a lot of the same shit. But besides that, it was fun enough. I just shouldn't have held my breath for a movie that is a kid's movie, essentially. But I love my Looney Tunes. The Devil Made Me Do It, Conjuring 3. Loved it. Didn't think I was going to love it because James Wan didn't direct this one. He directed Conjuring 1 and 2. This one he only produced, but they got the director of Curse of La Lorna to do it, and I was a little nervous because I wasn't the biggest fan of Curse of La Lorna, but this movie was actually very good. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. If you want a nonsense buddy cop movie with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, watch this. But first, watch Hitman's Bodyguard because it's one of those sequels where you kind of need to watch the first one if you want to understand the second one a little more. But wasn't a good movie whatsoever, but it was entertaining. Spiral, Chris Rock's Saw movie. Way better than I thought it was going to be. It actually was very good as a standalone cop film that references Saw movies. So you need to just watch Saw 1 and 2, and that's probably it, because they made 1,000 of those. But this movie was good by itself as a cop movie, and it had a social commentary that I did not see coming. Bravo, Chris Rock. That was actually pretty good. Quiet Place 2. I didn't like the movie as much as that deleted scene, but it was okay. I liked the opening scene more than anything. Don't need a Quiet Place 3, and apparently they're going to do that anyway. In the Heights. I'm not a big fan of musicals, so. Zola. Very original film. One of the most original films I've ever watched. I would check it out for its uniqueness. And the story's pretty wild, and you don't know if it happened or if it did, but this movie is based on a true story that you can read the whole Twitter thread through, and a Reddit post as well, but I'll let you do the research. Watch the movie first, then do the research. It's a lot more fun that way. Now let's go on to the smaller screen, because there were some things that came out, such as Fear Street 1, 2, and 3, based off of a series of R.L. Stine books. It was okay. It was pretty good in the sense of watching a director give a lot of homages to old horror movies. But besides that, it was okay. 3 was the darkest, and I enjoyed that one the most. Fatherhood. Kevin Hart does another stab at a dramatic role, and he knocks it out of the park. This movie was really, really good. May have been sweating out of my eyeballs a couple times. I'm okay to admit that. Mitchells versus the Machines. Basically, a film nerd's wet dream of an animated film that was based off of their own life, with a lot of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse animation, which makes that a lot more alluring, right? But the first half was and the second half was really funny. Danny McBride's a voice in it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was supposed to. But maybe you will, specifically with your family, because it is a kid's movie. Army of the Dead. God, I hated this movie. Zack Snyder, stop writing shit. It's 3 hours long, too. Zack Snyder is a great director, but every movie that he originally writes for, as in he doesn't adapt, like for instance, he adapted Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen. Don't think of DCEU because that's too much of another conversation. This and Sucker Punch, no. Cool tiger scene, but skip it. Skip it. Woman in the Window. If you love Alfred Hitchcock films, this is a great movie. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed myself. It was like watching an old movie again, but new. Gunpowder Milkshake. No. It's pretty boring. It's a lot of standing around looking badass rather than being a badass. Blood Red Sky. I loved this movie. However, not many other people did. And I feel really bad for that because I recommended it to a bunch of people and all of them said, I didn't finish it. And they couldn't admit that they just didn't like it. I think it's because half of it is in a different language, so you have to read, and the other half isn't. But I thought it was a dope vampire movie that's basically like a Descent set in airplane. Manifest. I'm not watching this. If it gets picked up for another season, I'll check it out. But all I've been hearing is it's like a disappointing Lost. And Lost was already really hard to get through. So if it picks up another season, I'll check it out. The only reason I mention it is because everyone's talking about it right now, even though it got canceled. And I don't want to watch it. Now moving on to HBO. The only thing I got to mention is No Sudden Move, which I'm not sure if it came out in theaters as well. But it's a Steven Soderbergh film. And the first half was amazing. The second half, But if you loved Benicio del Toro and Don Cheadle, you should check it out. Amazon came out with 3 pretty dope films. Without Remorse is a Tom Clancy film starring Michael B. Jordan. If you want an action movie that has like 3 really, really good scenes and the rest is just the same Tom Clancy bullshit, check it out. But if you want something that's a lot more fun, check out Tomorrow War starring Chris Pratt. It's basically a conglomerate of The Thing, Edge of Tomorrow, Jurassic Park in a way. And it's a bunch of movies like smushed together. Yeah, it's fun. It's just not like the greatest movie in the world. Jolt. Kate Beckinsale decided that she saw Crank and Atomic Blonde and wanted to make a movie just like those, but combined. And it's mindlessly entertaining in the sense of have it on in the background and you'll probably have fun. And those are things that I think that you should watch and not watch. And, the choice is ultimately up to you. Actually, no, it's not up to you. It's up to me. It's my show. I can do whatever I want. Oh, you don't believe me? Here's a doctored video of me catching gum in my mouth in one try and boasting about the success excessively. Roll that clip. Ah, that was amazing. Look at how talented I am. I am the master of my own domain.
Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong. Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong. Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong.
One second, I gotta take this.
Ring-a-ling-a-ding.
Yes, Mr. Higgins.
Well, when you gotta change the layout of Popcorn Poppin'.
What do you mean?
Who wants to watch a show about some Arab Mexican who's telling others what should be good and what should be entertaining instead of actually entertaining them?
I'm not an Arab Mexican.
Exactly. You're more of an Arab Mexican. Your show needs to be as good as Smack.
You ever had Smack, Wellman?
And I don't mean a slap in the face.
Oh, the drug? Then no, I have not.
It's pretty good.
10 out of 10.
That's what your show needs to be.
10 out of 10?
No, at least pretty good.
You got it, boss.
Shake that ass.
I got another call coming in.
Let me boop boop.
Yes, Steven Spielberg. I would love to be in a movie with you and Jennifer Lawrence.
And now on to our spotlight event. That's our new spotlight intro. Not Spotlight the movie, but spotlight of what the main event is, and that is The Suicide Squad. This movie was so dope. Of course it was. It was written and directed by James Gunn. If you don't know the behind-the-scenes little tidbits about this film, first there was a movie called Suicide Squad that was directed by David Ayer, which was so bad it made me want to commit suicide.
Shouldn't joke about suicide, mate.
Shut up, stupid Goya. No one understands you.
I've been famous for many years. Loads of people understand.
Yeah, well, I don't, and you look weird.
Try looking in the mirror, you cunt.
Anyways, there's David Ayer's Suicide Squad, which is not well received at all. Meanwhile, we have James Gunn making Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 for MCU. We have DCEU failing with Suicide Squad, and MCU succeeding with many other films, but including Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn got into some hot water because he basically was talking shit about Trump supporters. Trump supporters dug up some old tweets, which were indeed like very tasteless and very questionable, but it's something that he's apologized before, and that all of a sudden he was getting canceled for now. Canceled so well that MCU decided to boot him out of the MCU. So DCEU saw that people were pissed off, picked him up to do the Suicide Squad, and MCU decided to bring him back as well for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, James Gunn is done with MCU after Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and is going to do future DCEU projects. But the first one being The Suicide Squad. It's basically a Kevin Hart situation with the Oscars. But back to how the movie actually was. The Suicide Squad stars a ragtag group of people that are hired by an evil woman for government reasons, and they're going in for suicide missions and having to squad up and be cool. I think it's a pretty good premise. It's fun. It's delightful. There is a second act drawl. I don't know if I'm using drawl correctly, and I don't know if it's a word, but there is certain movies, and it's very, very common, where there's a second act drawl, where it's very, very boring kind of in the middle. And this one suffers from it, I think, greatly. It doesn't mean it's not a good movie, but it didn't mean that I needed like a lot more action. Like, why aren't people kicking butt? But you will notice a long part where it's kind of boring. But it picks right back up. Sorry, my snaps are weird. Overall, great movie. Go watch it, Buttery. Well, the future looks bleak, but I'm going to keep it positive anyway.
You mean HIV positive?
Shut up, stupid Goya. Thanks for watching.
Bonjour.
Goodbye.
Bonjour.
Goodbye.
Bonjour.
Deuces.